Okay, so as requested, I'm going to go through the solutions to the November exam in fifth year maths. So just if anyone's not a fifth year in 2024, the topics on this are some algebra and some financial maths. Okay, so algebra and financial maths is the main thing, and these are exam style questions, some of them anyway. Okay, so there's 120 marks. No, there was actually 110 marks. I reduced that, so out of 110 in total. So, question 1, 15 marks. Find the value of the following expression when x is equal to 2. Okay, so we know because it has an x equals 2 in this question, that simply means we're going to replace every x with a 2. Now we're told also to just give our answer in the form a over b, so that means your answer should be a fraction. So change all these x's to 2, make sure they're 2's in brackets, so 3 by 2 plus 5 over 10 minus 1 over 2 plus 3. Okay, and do it very simply. 3 by 2 is 6 plus 5 is 11. So 11 over 10 minus 1 over 5. Now, just note, of course, you can't subtract these because 1 over 5 is not the same. So just double it there on both sides. It becomes 11 over 10 minus 2 over 10, which is 9 over 10. So that's the first one done there. Okay, next one then is solve for x. So we've got a linear equation here. So we see brackets, brackets mean multiply. So we've got to multiply both sets of brackets before we can do anything else. So we have 8 minus 6x plus 12 equals 7x minus 10x and then plus 35 because you can see we've got a double negative thing going on there. Okay, simplify each side then. We have 20 minus 6x on one side and take our like terms, oh, that's not a like term, these two like terms, minus 3x plus 35 here. Okay, now we've got to balance up the sides, so we want to get rid of our numbers on the left, so minus 20 from each side, and get rid of our letters on the right, so plus 3x to each side. So remember, always keep it balanced either side of the ball. Okay, and those x's are gone. So 6x minus 6 plus 3 gives you minus 3x, and equals 35 minus 20 is 15. Okay, so very straightforward. Divide by what's in front of the x, minus 3, minus 3. And we get x equals minus 5. Okay, it's important to note that it's a minus 5 because you're dividing by minus 3 here. Okay, so it says then verify your answer. So that means to sub x back in. Okay, so we need to sub x back into the original. So we have 2, 4 minus 3 by minus 5, and then plus 12 equals 7 by minus 5, minus 5. Okay, this is quite long. 2 by minus 5, minus 7. Okay, work on the brackets first. So we'll have 2 times 4, 4 plus 15, because double negative, plus 12 equals minus 35. Minus, and then so that'll be minus 10 minus 7, so minus 5 times minus 10 minus 7. Okay, so 2 by 19 plus 12 equals minus 35 minus 5 times minus 17. All right, so 2 by 19 is, sorry, plus 10 plus 12. 2 by 19 is 38, plus 12 is 50. Okay, so that's 38 plus 12, and then minus 35 plus 5 by 17, that'll be plus 85. So you will get 50 on this side. So you can see if they're equal. So if you're ever asked to verify, that just means sub x back in. So we find that 50 is equal to 50. Okay. Right, question 2, just a 5-mark question. Price of a television set is 780 euro. And if this includes VAT, so there's an important word, includes VAT, so it's value added tax at 20%, find the price before VAT. Now, what an awful lot of people do here is they do 780 times 20% and then minus it off. Okay, that is not what you are wanting to do here. Okay, so it is including VAT. So that means 780 euro is the original price. So the original price is 100% plus an extra 20%. So it's 100% and 20%. So we've got 120% here. So the way that we want to do this is we take our 780 and we're going to divide it by 120. So that will bring us back down to 1% of the original price. And then we're going to times it by 100 to get it back up to 100% of the original price, as in the price before VAT. So 780 divided by 120 times 100 will give you 650 euros. Okay, if you did it this other way that I've X'd off at the top, you will not get that number. I think it's like 624 or something like that you get. It's not the right answer. You need to read this carefully. Includes VAT means divide it by a bigger number. Okay. Okay, next question is a simultaneous equation. So remember, with simultaneous equations, you always want to get either A or B. So either A or B, or it's sometimes X or Y. So either A, oh, that's some great writing, or B, the same. Okay, and you may have to multiply one or both of these. So I look at this and I see that there's a 3B and a B. So that's going to be easier. If I was getting the A's the same, I'd have to multiply the top by 5 and the bottom by 2. But let's not do that. Let's just multiply the bottom by 3. Okay, so keep the top the same. I'm just going to zoom in on this so it's easier to see. So we've got 2A plus 3B equals 15. That's fine. We're going to multiply the bottom by 3. So we're going to have 15A plus 3B equals minus 24. Okay, now we can minus these off each other. So that means we're going to change the signs. These are all going to become minuses. That one's going to become a plus. So we can minus them off each other. Get minus 13A. The b's will cancel out, is equal to 15 plus 24 is 39. Okay, and that's good. We know those divide into each other. So divided by minus 13, divided by minus 13. And we have got A is equal to minus 3. Okay, make sure, again, that minus is very important. Okay, now we can just sub back in our A. Okay, so just take one of the equations. I'll just take the top one. So 2A, so 2 by minus 3, plus 3B equals 15. Okay, so 2 minus 3 is minus 6, plus 3B equals 15, and it's just a linear equation. So plus 6 to each side, just like we always do. And we get 3B equals 21. And the last step then is just divide by whatever's in front of the letter. So 3B divided by 3, 21 divided by 3, and we're going to get B is equal to 7. Okay, so we've got A is minus 3 and B is 7. And if we had to verify that, you could do 5A, so 5 by minus 3 plus 7, that'll give you minus 15 plus 7, which is indeed minus 8, so we know that's right. Same with the top one, we could do 2 by minus 3 plus 3 by 7, that'll give you minus 6 plus 21, which will indeed give you 15. So you're right. You can always check by verifying. The question doesn't ask you to do that, but you can always sub them back in to check that you've got them right. Okay, part B then is list all the values of x that satisfy the inequality that's here. Okay, so some people panic whenever they see all of this stuff going on, but it's just solve a linear equation, except it's an inequality, not an equation. So first thing, multiply the bracket. So 4x minus 6 plus 6x is less than 25. Okay, do that, 4 and 6, you're going to get a 10x minus 6 is less than 25. And just treat it like a linear equation. Plus 6 to each side of the inequality. And you're going to get 10x is less than 31. Now, it's not an even divide, but that's okay. We'll see that in a minute. Divide it by 10, and we're going to get x is less than 3.1. Now, when I was reading out the question, I didn't read this bit up here, xen. That means x is an element of the natural numbers. So the natural numbers, that's n, they are the counting numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, whole positive numbers. So we have the natural numbers that are less than 3.1. So x has to be equal to 1, 2, and 3. Okay, no others, not 0, not minus 1, just the positive numbers. Okay. Right, on to a bit of financial maths now. So we see in 2023, Joseph has a gross annual income of 48,000 and he pays income, PRSI and USC. Okay, you're told he has no further deductions from his gross income and you're just told to work out his net annual income. So that basically means his take-home pay. Okay, so that's after tax. That's after tax he does this. So he starts off with 48,000 and he's going to take away all his tax. So 7,650 minus 1920 minus 1407. You could always add them together and then take them all away in one go. But either way, you are going to get that he's left out with 37,023 euro after tax. Okay, a nice easy one. Now, we have two income tax rates in Ireland given in the table below. So Olivia's gross income is 34,000 and her tax credit is 3,550. So as you can see, this 34,000 is less than this 40,000. So that means all of that 34,000 is going to be taxed at 20%. Okay, or if you prefer, just write times 0.2. That's grand, it's the same thing. Okay, so 34,000 times 20% is 6,800. But you're also told she has this tax credit. So tax credit is removed off the tax. So she's not actually going to be taxed that much. She's going to get that much back, meaning that she has 3,250 euro in tax. And so tax is taken off her pay. So 34,000 minus 3,250. So you minus off her tax and she's left with 30,750 euros. Okay, so that's net annual income. We'll just highlight that, net annual income. Okay, that's after tax. Okay, part two of this question is just on the next page, but this was our table that we had above. So Caroline is earning 50,000. So she actually earns more. So she's going to be taxed a little bit higher as well. So her first 40,000 is going to be taxed at 20%. Okay, but then what she has left, which will be 50,000 minus 40,000, okay, which is very easily just worked out as 10,000, that's going to be taxed at 40%. So she's going to have two tax rates. So the lower tax, she's going to lose 8,000 of that. And on this one, she is going to lose 4,000 of that. So that means her total tax, when we add these together, will be 12,000. However, again, we see annual tax credit here. So that 3,550 needs to come off and she is going to be left with 8,450 in tax. Okay, now you could work out her income, 50,000 minus 8,450, but you're actually only asked to find her annual income tax here. So that's her answer, 8,450 euros. That's all it was. But if you're told to calculate net income, you just minus that off 50,000. Okay, then we're told that the amount of income being taxed at 20% rate was increased from 40,000 to 42. And to work out how much less income tax a person earning more than 42,000 would pay in 2024 compared to 2023 due to this increase. That's a lot of words, but basically you have to work out it being 40,000 or 42,000. So originally the amount was 40,000 at 20%, and also the next 2,000 at 40%. And of course, you can do 0.2 or 0.4 if you prefer. So that would have been 8,000 euro there and 400 euro there. Okay. Sorry, no, that's not right. 8,800, just error on my part. So in total, you would have paid 8,800 in 2023. Okay. In 2024 then, it is all 42,000 of it is taxed at 20%. So we can just tax it all at 20%, and that would have been 8,400 in that amount. So we can see the difference. If that was 2023, this is 2024, just minus them. So 8,800 minus 8,400 means that you're going to pay 400 euro less in the next year. So if such a tax break was given, you'd get 400 euro more. Okay, question 5 now. We have Liam, Joan and Martha splitting a bill in the following ratio. 4 is to 3 is to 5. So in total, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 parts. Okay, but Liam and Joan paid 154 between them. So that actually means we only need to think about 7 parts here for ratio. And Martha paid the rest. So we have Liam and Joan for a start. so that is €154. And each of them paid 4 and 3 parts. That is 7 parts in total. So divide that by 7 and you get €22. So Liam would have paid 88, Joan 66 if you multiply it by 3. But you want Martha. So if one part is 22 and Martha paid 5 parts, you just multiply it by 5 and you'll get €110. So you just need to read the question carefully. A lot of people would tend to divide by 12, but it's only these two. So you just need to divide by 7. Next part then is some currency exchange. So it's a ticket for a concert costs £59.50, and €1 is 0.85. So if we're going from pounds back to euro, we're going to want to divide. Right, so just simply one sum, £59.50 divided by 0.85, and we're going to get our original amount in euros, which is €70. So Liam is a member of Venue's Loyalty Club, so he gets a discount of 20% on all tickets. He buys 8 tickets for the concert. Work out the total cost of the 8 tickets in euro. So we have our euro, that's €70, and he's buying 8 tickets, so that's going to be €560. Okay, that's 8 tickets, but he gets a discount of 20%. So think about that like he only has to pay 80%. Now you could find 20% and minus it off, but it's just going to be quicker to times this by 0.8 or by 80%. Same thing, just times that by that. He only has to pay that amount, and so it's only going to cost him €448. So nice question there. That is just simply multiplication. The last part of this question now is Eva buying a new car, 19445, and there's a few parts of this. So 30% is a deposit, repayments of 206 for 3 years monthly, and a lump sum. Okay, so you want the total cost of the car, so you need to just add these things. So the 30% deposit plus the monthly and plus the lump sum. So you need to get all three. So first of all, you need 30%. So 19,445, and you need to find 30% of that, or 0.3. That is going to give you 5833.50. So that's how much that is. Now the monthly deposit, it's 206.97. Okay, and it's each month for 3 years. So it's 3 years, and there's 12 months in a year, so it'll be times 36, or just times 3 times 12, and you get 7450.92 in that. So we've got those two, and the last thing is just a lump sum. So you're going to be adding on that 7389. So if you just add these three numbers, you will get how much the car cost. So in total, it cost her €20,673.42. So we can see that it started at 19,445, but because she was paying it over a few years, she actually has to pay a bit extra. Okay, something has gone on this question, but question 6, you've got a sum of 6,000 invested in 8 years with an AER of 5%. Okay, so for this one, you need to recognize that it's 8 years and the interest doesn't change. So you're going to want the interest formula, F equals P 1 plus I power of T. So that's the compound interest formula. Okay, so F is your final amount. So that's what we want, 8 years time. So we're looking for F. P is your principal, so that's where it starts. So that's 6,000, that's our P. 1 plus I, so I is your interest, so that's 5%. 1 plus 5%, or 0.05 if you prefer to write it that way. And it's in an 8-year bond, so T is time, so it's to the power of 8. So if you just lash that into your calculator, you will get your answer of 8864.73. So that government bond gets them a right bit more money. I suppose it does take 8 years, but it goes from 6,000 all the way up to €8,000. Okay, now the last question on the test is the one, it's a mixture of algebra and finance. So first of all, algebra, we've got an algebra fraction, but remember we can't add fractions if they're different on the bottom. So this 5 and this 2, and maybe this 10 need to change, but the 10 doesn't. because the lowest common denominator is going to be 10. That means that we can take this fraction and multiply it all by 2, and this fraction and multiply it all by 5 to get our thing. So technically what you're doing is multiplying top and bottom by 2 here and top and bottom by 5 up here. So we end up with 2 by 3x plus 1 all over 2 by 5, which is 10, plus 5 by x minus 2 all over 10 equals 47 all over 10. Okay, so since this is a linear equation and we're working it out, these 10s on the bottom, we can essentially just get rid of them by multiplying everything by 10. Okay, so we can just leave them. Now, if you were told to leave it as a fraction, you wouldn't do that, but it'll make life easier. Now, we've got some brackets, so 2 by 3, 2 by 1, 5 by x, 5 by 2. So we've got 6x plus 2 plus 5x minus 10 equals 47. So it's just a normal linear equation. Group your like terms, 11x, and your other terms, minus 8 equals 47. Then we can move over our 8, keep it balanced, plus 8, and we get 11x equals 55. And last step is divide by 11 to get our final amount, and we will be left with x is equal to 5. So all of that to get x equal to 5, but the main thing here is to get your lowest common denominator. So you cannot add these until they're all the same. So make sure to get 10 on the bottom, and then you can do the rest of the stuff. Anyway, that leaves us with one last part, which is a bit of finance. So there's a lot going on here. He borrowed 10,000. He repaid 2,000 after 1 year, 3,000 after 2 years, and the balance at the end of the third year. So 8% in the first year, 5% in the second year, 6% in the third year. How much was paid at the end of the third year to clear the debt? Okay, a lot of words, but just take it 1 year at a time. So let's go 2,000 after 1 year and 8%. So it's going to start off with 10,000 euro. He starts off with an interest at 8%. 10,000, 1 plus 8%. So that's his 10,000 and 8% on top, or 0.08 if you prefer. And that is going to give you 10,800 euro. Now, we're told that he's repaying 2,000 of that. So he's going to give back 2,000 euro, and he's only left then with 8,800 to pay. Okay, so that's year 1 done. We can get rid of these. Right, year 2 then, he's starting with 8,800 and he's getting charged 5%. So 8,000 times 1 plus 5% is going to give us 9,240, and then he's repaying 3,000 euro. So minus 3,000, we're going to get 6,240. So that's year 2 done. And then finally, we have 6% in the third year. So that's going to be multiplied by 1 plus 6%. So it's just like using the compound interest formula, except 1 year at a time. And that will give us our final answer of 6614.40. Okay, so there's the exam finished. Hopefully that was useful to you.